listeners. Ready to dive in. You've given us quite a stack of intel to work with this time.
Fascinating stuff.
Looks like we're following Maya and Alec again.
Oh, those twins.
The ones who escaped from that Griquoin mothership.
Ah, yes, quite a story.
Crash landing on Earth, trying to blend in as high school students.
It's getting pretty complicated.
Oh, definitely getting complicated, especially with this latest scene with Zoey. What do you make of that?
Well, she's the first Earthling who actually knows who they are, right? And she's choosing to help them.
Yeah.
I mean, is that brave or reckless?
Probably a bit of both. Honestly, those Griquoins don't seem like the forgiving type.
No, not at all. And offering sanctuary to these, well, extraterrestrial fugitives, that's a pretty big risk for her.
I mean, if the Griquoin track those twins to Earth.
She could become a target.
Okay, now I'm getting chills.
Yeah.
But before we get too ahead of ourselves,
Yeah.
remind us how they even got into this mess in the first place. I mean, that escape from the Griquoin destroyer was, well, pretty dramatic.
It was a very daring escape. There's no doubt about it. Sabotaging the mothership, navigating that wormhole.
Right.
And those initial scenes really show their technical skills.
Yes.
Strategic thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, surviving the crash landing was only just the beginning of their problem.
Exactly. Suddenly they're teenagers again. Trying to blend in, trying to navigate high school, awkward social situations, a whole world that's completely alien to them.
Totally.
I mean, how do you even explain a wormhole to someone who thinks that the Roman Empire is ancient history?
Well, that's where Aida comes in, right?
Their trusty android companion.
Right. She's kind of the unsung hero of this story, always providing crucial information and guidance. Remember that scene with the bear in the woods?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and don't forget about when they were evicted from that campsite.
Oh, right.
Aida finding that abandoned farmhouse.
Yeah.
Stroke of genius. But, you know, I have to admit, that whole posing as foreign exchange students plan.
Pretty clever.
Yeah.
But as we see in these later scenes, keeping up that act is definitely proving to be a challenge.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, Maya's struggling to answer that simple history question.
Oh, yeah.
Alec and his, well, let's call it his unconventional approach to classroom etiquette. It's all starting to unravel.
Yeah. And then there's the whole pudding explosion incident in the cafeteria. Come on.
Oh, right.
It's like they walked right out of a comic book.
Well, it does make you wonder about the nature of their powers.
Yeah.
Is it something they were born with? Is it technology? I mean, the source material is a bit vague on that point.
Yeah.
But one thing's clear. They definitely haven't mastered control over these abilities.
Definitely not.
And in a world where even the slightest thing that's different
Yeah.
can raise suspicion, well.
Recipe for disaster. And that brings us back to Zoey. She's seen them at their most vulnerable. She's seen those abilities firsthand, yet she still chooses to help them. I mean, what do you make of her motivations?
It's interesting. Is it just pure altruism?
Maybe.
Or is it curiosity? Or perhaps she kind of wants to be a part of something bigger than herself?
Maybe.
The source material does hint at a bit of loneliness in her, a desire for connection. Perhaps she sees in the twins a kindred spirit.
Oh, interesting. Someone who understands what it's like to be different.
Right.
You always had such a way with words.
Oh, stop.
Someone's poetic.
Ah.
Makes me want to actually read those source reports myself.
Oh, I thought you preferred the shorter versions.
Well, maybe I'm willing to make an exception, for the right companion.
Of course. Yeah.
I'm always happy to guide you through any subject matter.
Yeah.
Although I have to say, I do find your enthusiasm
Yeah.
rather contagious.
Is that so? Maybe we should explore that further.
But first, we should get back to the twins. They are walking a tightrope here.
Yeah.
Trying to fit in while these incredible abilities keep, bubbling to the surface.
Right.
How long can they possibly keep this up?
It really makes you wonder.
It does.
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question. How long can they keep this up? Every time they use those abilities, they risk exposure.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you're watching a high wire act, just waiting for that stumble.
Right. Makes you think about their long-term plan. Can they even fix that spaceship on their own? And even if they can, what then?
Yeah.
Do they just leave Earth behind? What about Zoey?
These are the questions that, well, keep me up at night sometimes, going through all these reports. I mean, think about it. Their presence here on Earth, it has huge implications.
Yeah.
And for the twins themselves.
Yeah.
They're trying to adapt to this new culture, forming these bonds with humans, dealing with all the complexities of, well, being a teenager, but with, An extraterrestrial twist.
Right, and they're still teenagers, even if they are from another planet.
Exactly. Hormones, peer pressure, high school awkwardness. That's a lot for anyone to handle.
It is, and that's what makes it so relatable.
Yeah.
Underneath all that sci-fi, it's a story about self-discovery, resilience,
Yeah.
that universal need for connection.
They're so out of their element.
Yeah.
But there's that real sweetness between them.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you root for them.
It does.
Even when they're messing things up big time.
Oh, yeah. Right. Their fascination with human culture is, well, on the one hand, it's endearing.
Yeah.
But on the other, it's potentially dangerous.
It is.
They're like, well, sponges,
Yeah.
just soaking everything up, trying to make sense of this strange new world.
It's true. But that curiosity could lead to some serious consequences.
For sure. Especially if they stumble onto something they shouldn't.
Right?
Like, I don't know, top secret government files about aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a hidden bunker full of alien weaponry.
Okay, let's not get carried away.
Oh, come on. The possibilities are endless.
It's true, but you're right. They're like a ticking time bomb. The longer they stay here, the greater the risk, not just for them.
But for all of us.
Exactly.
It's like they're caught in this web, every decision leading to all these unforeseen consequences. Escaping the Grecoin, that was just the first step in a much longer, much more complicated journey.
Yeah, and it's that internal conflict that I find so fascinating.
Oh, really?
They're torn between their duty to their people, their home planet,
Mm-hmm.
and this growing connection they have to Earth, to the people here. It's a classic dilemma, isn't it?
It really is. Loyalty versus freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Duty versus desire.
It is. It's enough to make your head spin.
You know, I am starting to feel a little overawed.
I get it.
Maybe we should just take a minute to, recalibrate.
Yeah.
Perhaps over a cup of, Zvoltan tea.
Ah, you remembered. And here I thought you only liked the short versions of things.
Well, there's a lot you don't know about me.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Maybe we can delve into that later.
You could like that.
But for now, let's try to untangle this web. We've got the Grecoin threat still looming out.
Yay.
Zoe's safety hanging in the balance. And those twins facing choices that could change everything. Not just their lives, but maybe even the fate of two worlds. Where do we even begin?
It's a lot to unpack.
So we've got these twins, super powerful, stranded here on Earth, stuck between who they were and who they're trying to be.
Yeah, it's like they're living a double life. Alien warriors. Awkward teenagers.
Every decision they make, it's pulling them in different directions, trying to fit in, but terrified of being exposed.
And the clock is ticking. They can't hide forever.
Sooner or later, they have to pick a path, fix that spaceship, go back to a life they don't even recognize anymore.
Or embrace this new life, this new connection to Earth.
But risk everything for a fresh start.
Sounds like a classic hero's journey, doesn't it? Leaving their world behind, facing all these challenges.
And coming out changed. Transformed.
But how? How will they be changed? Will they hold on to their past? Or embrace the unknown?
That's the question, isn't it? And that's what makes this so interesting. We get to look at all the possibilities, all those little clues in the source material, connecting the dots and trying to figure out what's next.
Exactly. And that brings us to Zoey.
Right. She's gone from just a witness
To a participant.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Her choice to help them, to hide them, it can have huge consequences.
Way beyond their little group.
She's like this catalyst, throwing their world upside down, forcing them to face their weaknesses.
And question what they thought was true.
But she's also brought them happiness,
Yes?
laughter, a sense of belonging they haven't felt in, well, who knows how long.
There's no denying her influence. But her reasons, well, they're still mystery. Is it just compassion?
I mean, maybe.
Or is there something more to it? Some kind of, I don't know, a subconscious understanding of her own destiny.
Ooh, okay, that's an interesting thought. You always come up with these intriguing ideas. It's like you can see between the lines, things that most people miss.
Maybe I've just spent too much time on these reports. But there's something about her story that I find so captivating.
Yeah.
She's the unknown, the random element that throws everything off balance.
In a story that's already got so much going on, the action, the intrigue, she's the wild card.
Exactly. She could swing things in any direction.
It's like chaos theory, but with a human face, One tiny act of kindness, one seemingly insignificant decision.
It could trigger a chain reaction that has ripple effects across galaxies.
Which brings us to the big question. What happens next? Can the twins actually fix that spaceship? Can they escape those Grecoin?
And what about Zoey? Will she be in danger because of this? Will they find some way to create a whole new path?
One that goes beyond their two worlds. Wow, those are some big questions.
Yeah.
But that's what makes this so compelling. It's not just about aliens and spaceships.
No.
It's about the choices we make, the people we connect with, how we impact the world.
Mm.
And even when everything seems impossible, hopeless even, well, there's always that possibility of hope in the most unexpected places.
Beautifully put. And I think it's time we hear from you, the listeners. What are your thoughts on all of this? Do you trust Zoey? What do you think will happen to the twins? What about Earth's place in this whole intergalactic mess?
Share your ideas, your theories, anything you can dream up in the comments. We want to hear your perspective. Let's explore this story together.
Until next time, keep asking questions, keep looking for answers, and never underestimate the power of connection.
And maybe, just maybe, we'll see you in another deep dive soon.